Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bridge School Diary. Today in our series of Testimonial Tuesday we have a special guest, Roberto Taranto.
Hello guys.
Thank you for being here with us, Roberto, and I have a surprise for you. Finally, your fantastic certificate.
Thank you so much. Whoa, A2.
A2 and A, grade A. So you scored really high, you got like the top. So we can say that you actually have B1 level of English. And I must tell the truth, to me, even higher, especially as for your fluency. You speak really fluently. But let's go back to that exam. So when did you take it? It was last year, wasn't it?
Yes, last year in the 2021.
And do you remember which part you found the most difficult?
I'm gonna be honest, I think that listening was the most difficult. Not for the sounds. The problem was when you start feeling anxious, when you see that voice is so calm and it is the opposite of you.
True, yeah. So the anxiety is I'll put it there, okay? So you can. So what are your, can you give any advice to the students who are going to take it?
Talking about studying, I think that yes, studying verbs, remembering vocabularies, yes, it's important. But for me, the thing that helps the most is watching films, for example, movies in totally in English. For example, the first film I saw in English, I used the subtitles in that film. But from the second one, I started removing that and trying to concentrating only on the words that the actors were saying.
Now, everybody talks about listening to songs, watching movies or watching YouTube videos in English. Yes, obviously it does help you, right? It also
for the pronunciations.
For the pronunciation, for the intonation and everything, your fluency. As a matter of fact, you're very, very young and your fluency is really amazing. But we do forget about the fact that you still have to study, as you said, the verbs, right? So let's go back
to the lessons that I had here.
Yes, exactly. Do you remember studying vocabulary, preparing for your starters, movers and flyers exams and cramming, studying irregular verbs? I think this is also important, isn't it?
For example, at first time you think that's boring, you don't want to do that part, is the worst part of the lesson, because here the lessons are funny, but when last year I thought that the worst part of the lesson was test. Oh, my heart was starting
to pound, right? The stress. Yes.
But now that I passed the exam, I noticed that it's a lot important for the pronunciation, but also for the meanings. Because sometimes I've noticed that people underrated the meanings. Oh yes, you can all the meanings, but the pronunciation is more important. But when you don't know well the meaning of a word, you don't know the language, and that language is not yours as your mother language.
That's true. That's very true. So before we start focusing on the intonation, pronunciation, being fluent, we need some basics. So we really need to study vocabulary.
It's like trying to run without knowing to walk.
Oh, I love that simile. I love that. You're dead right. Okay, so do you actually like English?
Yes. It's a little funny. I started in the second year of the elementary school. So it was like something that I had to do, not something that I liked to do. First year was like my mother that said you must go there because if you don't, you will I will round you a lot. But from the second year, I was like trying to make that subject that before I didn't like, make that a thing that I like.
And that's another trick, right?
Yes.
So,
Because if you don't like a thing, you don't study that well. So if you want to study English, for example, well, you have to try to like more the language.
and do you think you will use English in the future?
Yes, because talking about the university, I want to go to a university that is out of our country. So there the lessons are only in English. So it's important, not important. It's impossible to study in a good university that is out of your country without that language.
Well, Roberto, thank you for being here and thank you for sharing precious advice with other students.